All right, here we are back to first two baits. We're going to be talking about fall fishing in two conditions, drawdown conditions, and then I would call it like middle fall, fall to late fall, mid-fall to late fall. For this part, I'm from Virginia, so for the middle part of the country, from Virginia across to Missouri, even down into Alabama, I would say, down into South Carolina, up north a little bit as well. That whole middle part of the region, these are 100% your first two baits if you're going to go fishing in that mid to late fall, especially if you have a drawdown. Number one, I'm going to have to hit you with Spro Rock Crawler. This bad boy right here is just a flat out fish catcher. This is probably my favorite color. It's green craw. Love, 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 love this color. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of derived from, here's the original, an original wigglewort. Some of you peeps out there can probably pop off exactly what color that is. I've still got one. I just wanted to show it to you. But this thing, it's an amazing bait, great bait, the regular wigglewort. But the rock crawler gets a little bit deeper. It's easier to cast. You can get that thing down probably 12 feet or so, 10 to 12 feet, pretty easy. Dig it around in 6 to 10 feet of water. That's really the key range, in my opinion. That's probably going to be my number one choice. And it's really weird watching the water temperatures. As the water temperatures start to fall in the fall, this bait really gets good. I mean, you can catch fish on a rock crawler about all season. And then in the fall, it definitely ramps up. A lot of those fish start to move back shallow. I don't know if they're starting to key on crawfish before they hibernate. I don't know what the situation is, but as that water temperature cools, and I don't know there's a specific water temperature point. I would say it's my guess is if it gets into the low 60s, upper 50s, that's when it's starting. That water cools down and gets down in the mid 50s, low 50s. You best be having one of these bad boys tied on. And I usually throw it on the Sunline Crank FC. This is 12 pound. It's usually where I start. 10, I would go 10 or 12, no bigger than 12. You want to let that bait get down. You want to be able to cast it a long distance. I'm going to be throwing it on, most of the time I'm going to throw it on a 7-foot Cashin Icon and a square bill rod. Love that rod. You can still target cast. You want to hit specific targets or specific line. You want to make sure that you can hit it perfectly. There's some longer rods that can help you get further casting distance. But this thing, man, if you have it set up with a good reel, like a Daiwa, Tatula, or what have you, about knocked a buck off the wall. We're gonna have long casts, accurate casts, sensitive line. Not gonna lose a ton with that Crank FC. It's got really good abrasion resistance because you're gonna be banging that thing into rocks all day. Just bang, bang, bang. But let me show you a couple other fun, yummy colors. Now the best conditions for the rock crawler are when you get some wind and rock. Sometimes the rock's on points, sometimes it's on the sides of points, sometimes it'll just be a channel swing bank. But if you can get some wind going along with it, it almost doesn't matter how clear the water is. This is another fave right here. I honestly forgot the name of this color, but it's got that orange chartreuse, and I've caught them in clear water on that bait as well. We got some other reds. This is definitely a favorite red. It's that translucent, and this is probably my favorite red one right here. I think that's red bug. I'm not 100% positive, but that thing right there is beautiful. Caught a lot of fish on that color. These are probably my two favorite colors right there. To tell you the truth, those are two of my favorite colors. But this is first two. We got another bait to give you a little sneaker pika on. And it's nothing, it's not a surprise. Bam, jig. This is a mini flip, 1/2 ounce. This is Brewgill. Love this color. It is amazing in the fall. It's great. We have a newer color as well. Some other new colors that are also very good. Brown crawl, probably my second favorite, but bluegill is a great one. We got that fried melon mini D chunk on there. Pull the skirt up so you can see it a little better. But that is my probably my go-to in the fall. You can take that thing and fish it around docks. You can fish it around rocky banks. Maybe you hit a couple with the rock crawler, and then you want to clean your act up. Try to catch a big one. Whoop that jig in there. Work it down through that rock again. Also, don't forget about docks that time of year. Right now in the fall, jig on docks, but I'm going to be throwing that on 20-pound sunline shooter. That is pretty much my go-to. You can use 18 if you want, but I wouldn't go any lighter than 18, and I really wouldn't go any heavier than 20. That's the sweet spot for me. 7.6 Cash and Icon flipping stick, the medium heavy high speed reel, Daiwa Tula. That's what I've got on this bad boy right here. Might want to think about that high speed for that jig. Just very important as you're fishing it. You're going to be working it down through that rock, dragging it up under docks, something like that. When you get that bite, you need to be able to reel up all the slack quickly, lean into them. You don't have to try to break the line when you set the hook. Just a nice good, just lean back, let that rod load up. It's got a sharp hook in it. It's got a VMC hook in it, but it's real sharp. It's not a huge diameter either. That helps be able to get that hook penetrated. I've caught 8s and 9s. I caught a 9-pounder this year on this hook, so I don't need to hear anything about the hook not being thick enough, because it is sure enough thick enough to catch a 9-pounder. I mean, if that sounds like it's fun to you. 9-pounder right there. But here it is. That's number 1 and 2 right there. If it's windy, 100% this guy. Even if it's wind or not, this guy right here, you may want to look for those areas that have a little more bait fish in them. That's probably going to be where most of the fish are. Doesn't have to be like loaded, just bait fish presence in the area. That's another big tip when you're looking at those first two baits in that fall drawdown or that mid to late fall time period. So if anybody else has any other ones they want to add, there are other very good lures that work this time of year, and I'd like to hear what you have to say as well. So drop it down there in the comments and we can all learn. All right, thanks.